It's full time. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. Mikel Arteta's first ever quarter-final game managed by him has gonna hit to end in a draw, and he's gonna be fuming to the mistakes that his central defense went ahead to do to see to it that they went ahead to obviously concede 2 goals. You know what it means when you come into a game knowing that the most important and most effective part of your team is the central defense. It goes ahead to obviously cost you, because for the first goal, you also see to it that it is Gabriel Magalhaes that comes out, obviously give out a very, very bad blind pass in there for you. And then the second one, it's a penalty given away by William Saliba, and I don't know why he went ahead to obviously foul the player. Let him shoot and see whether it's going to go in or out. But they've been 2 mistakes made by the most effective department of us, that is the central defense, that has resulted into them really drawing this game of football. I was 100% sure that Arsenal is going to score goals, but I didn't really see it out that Bayern is going to come and really score 2 goals at the Emirates. I never saw it coming. And this should really act as a very huge question mark onto what the plan Mikel Arteta really has with this game of football, because Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes were really outstanding, but they really gave away 2 cheap goals. For me, Arsenal went ahead to gift Bayern Munich, and if at all Arsenal really looked better and really defended better, they wouldn't have gone ahead to fidget. Some people will say it's Champions League experience. I understand, but you can't tell me that that lack of Champions League experience makes Gabriel Magalhaes make that blind pass. You cannot come out and really tell me that, and I'm not going to accept it. That is, I'm not going to accept it, that he's the man responsible for doing such a thing, because putting out a very good pass, yet you are really not pressed, and the person you're passing to is not even marked, that is Jakub Kiwior, never required experience. All he needed was composure and a little bit to really do the needful. And it's really very alarming that he had kept himself in pure composure. He had gone ahead to do lots of things this season. And by the way, this season, we haven't gone ahead to see him really making mistakes. Have we? I don't think so. I don't think that we're going to hate to see Gabriel Magalhaes make mistakes. And in one of the most important games of the season, he comes out to be the reason as to why Arsenal concedes the first goal. But that's what the game of football ended like. 2 Arsenal, 2 Bayern Munich. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. Hope you guys are really having fun. This is the Rokani Media Football with the match reaction of Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2, a game of football that Arsenal was tested in as far as mentality was concerned, resiliency, and how to obviously overcome the experience side of Bayern Munich. At the start of the game, Bayern Munich came in through with a very huge bang. If at all you watch that game of football, they really went ahead to maintain possession for like 5-6 minutes, and it was really hard to really know whether Arsenal is going to come up and really raise up to the occasion. And when you look at how Arsenal played the first half, it was not all that very giving, like expecting lots of things to happen. Arsenal was capitalizing onto moments. It took Arsenal long to grow into the game, to an extent that Bayern really had the concentration. That to an extent, for them to score the first goal, it was all about a combination of Kai Havertz, Benjamin White, and then Bukayo Saka went ahead to put in a very beautiful goal in the 12th minute. And this is what I told you, that this was a moment for Bukayo Saka, and I've gone ahead to really like what I was going to do. Today, he rises up to the occasion, scoring the most important goal of the match. The first goal is always the most important. However much what follows after, the first goal is always very important, and there is no way you can come out and not really hail a player who has gone ahead obviously score that first goal. Benjamin White with an assist coming in through to do the needful, and that takes Bukayo Saka's tally to, let me check, how many? 4-5 Premier League Champions League goals. Bukayo Saka. This takes his tally to how many Champions League goals? I think Champions League. Where are you? Champions League. I think it takes to 4 Champions League goals scored in. I think he had already 4. Not so. Let me check here. Opta stats. Please come up come up and really give us some facts about Bukayo Saka, because I don't want to really misfire when I'm really doing this video, because I believe it's really gonna be very important to you, the people watching in this channel. So Bukayo Saka in the 18th minute went ahead, obviously put Arsenal ahead. It was the 8th minute. In the 8th minute, sorry, in the 12th minute, he went ahead to put Arsenal ahead with a very good strike that saw him really doing the needful. And he's really having fun into that game. He really went ahead to really see it that Alphonso Alves gets a yellow card that keeps him out of the second leg. I think that alone is a plus to the side of Bukayo Saka, because if Alphonso Davies is out of that game, then Guerrero will come in through to play as a left back, and you know, to it that's a very huge downgrade, and that should be given as a very good plus to Bukayo Saka on what has gone ahead to do on Alphonso Davies. Alphonso Davies was really solid, and he rarely went past him, because Saka is so much a touchline player. You get? I don't really want. I hate it when I see a player like him really playing so much onto the touchline. I think Arteta should try to change Bukayo Saka's game. I think in a game like for today, if Saka was really inverting so much in the midfield, he would have gone ahead to be so much deadly. Like for that penalty that the referee failed to give, and VAR said no way to it, because Saka found himself fall into Manuel Neuer's legs. You get? So I think if he does that more, then he'll find himself in a position of doing better. And for that chance, guys, I think Saka cooked a lot. All what would have gone ahead to do was to aim to really pass that ball in between the legs of Manuel Neuer. At that juncture, all what he had to do was to go in for a shot at goal. Why try to take off the goalkeeper? Yet you really have a lot of space to obviously do the needful and really get yourself going. I think Saka really overcooked. I don't know whether you're going to really resonate with me, but I think he overcooked. He would have gone ahead to do better into that moment, but he had a very brilliant game, and kudos to Bukayo Saka. Today, you've gone ahead to live out with the expectation, scoring that goal, and a lot of movement was seen by him. But I think what Arteta needs to change about this lad is simple. Saka should start inverting. You know, he runs so much towards the byline, and that makes him predictable as a player. Then Serge Gnabry leveled and made it 1-1 for the side of Arsenal 6 minutes later. And if you are Arsenal, you really understand that it was a lot of pressure piled onto that side of Arsenal. And then 14 minutes later, Leroy Sane is brought down in the 18-yard box area by Saliba, and the referee points to the spot. Pointing to the spot, Harry Kane raised up to the occasion, as he was always done to score against Arsenal. He went ahead and obviously scored a penalty. And the first half ended 2-1 in favor of Bayern Munich. And Arsenal struggled, guys. Arsenal struggled, and they looked like they're not going to score. And not until the manager went ahead to make some huge substitutions. Took up Jakub Kiwior for Zinchenko to obviously give him more ball possession. And then he brought on Jesus and Trossard. And these two, Jesus and Trossard, combined to score the equalizer in the 76th minute. And this is why I was like, Jesus should come and really start in this game, because Martinelli totally did nothing. Did you remember Martinelli doing anything positive? I don't remember Martinelli doing anything, because I was of a view, you start Jesus because he can act well in tight spaces. He plays in for like 65-70 minutes. Then you get on Martinelli when these players have started to create spaces, because space was there. Space was there, trust me, in the last 20 minutes of the game, and Jesus comes in through, pulls out a moment of magic. That's what Gabriel Jesus gets you. He gets himself an assist, and Trossard scores himself the 13th goal of the season of Arsenal. I remember telling you, Trossard is one of those players I tipped to score 20 goals this season, and again, having gone ahead to score over the weekend, he comes in through to score the important goal that keeps Arsenal in this tie. That is it. Trossard is really very good. It was like taking a penalty, but many can reach there and really not hit the target. But he hit the target in the 76th minute. And I heard the commentator say, Arsenal are now going for it. But I think one of the problems that Arteta did was to get on Thomas Partey. I think instead of getting on Thomas Partey, I would have gone ahead to get on Emily Smith-Rowe. That is it. Because all what he would have gone ahead to go for was to go for this game, and Bayern had gone ahead to obviously admit that, all right, we are really good to go, and we want obviously to eat that we kill off this game of food. We've gone ahead to obviously accept that Arsenal can really do the need for that equalizer was really very, very, very opening for Arsenal to really get a win, but they failed to do that on several occasions. Thomas Partey was really sloppy, putting out blind passes after blind passes. 1, 2, he has gone ahead to lose his mobility. That's why I think he should be the first player that Arsenal should offload and sell. He's not really that kind of player that will come out and really best on to come out and really get yourself doing the needful into this game of football, because he really looked sloppy and he put out very many blind passes. Though he had one or two, three clear moments, and I remember him stopping Jamal Musiala. That was really very good for him. Stopping him and getting that yellow card was really very professional, because if you let Jamal Musiala slip from there, you saw what happened when he was almost coming to the end of the game, and he went ahead to put in a cutback that Kingsley Coman went ahead to obviously hit, and the bottom post denied him. So it shows you that it's not yet done business. It's not yet done business, and Arteta needs to obviously get his side. But I really believe Arsenal are going to go through. Amidst all what is going to happen today, I think Arteta is going to get his mistakes right. Because right now, all Arsenal need is a win away at Allianz Arena. A win I know they can get. And I know how they play when they're playing away from home. They're going to really come. They're really going to invite pressure a little bit and be more clinical into those games. So, kudos to Thomas Tuchel, by the way. I would like to give him kudos, because he came into this game of football when everyone in Germany was like, he loses to Arsenal, he gets sacked. But he has gone ahead to get a draw. He has kept Bayern Munich's chances alive, and back at Allianz Arena to see to it that how it's really gonna get tussled out. So it's really now like a 0-0 game. The away goal difference is out. If this game that is gonna be played in 8 days ends in a draw, you know what happens? They are gonna go to penalties. Manuel Neuer is a very good goalkeeper at saving penalties, and David Raya has shown us that he's really good at saving penalties. So it is really going to be a tricky one, and I think if at all Mikel Arteta, you wouldn't like to go to penalties. All you would want to do is to go ahead and really win. But as we're going to hate to see to it that Bayern is going to hate to come in through at the Emirates and score goals, even Arsenal can go away at the Allianz Arena and score goals, but it's going to depend on how they are going to really defend. I told you before that Arsenal needs to really look at its defense and really not allowing very many goals. In the Champions League, the moment you allow in very many goals, a lot happens. But for the very first time, a team in London has gone ahead to obviously stop Bayern Munich from really walking away with 3 points. Remember, they had gone ahead to come here on like 3-4 occasions, and they had gone ahead to win all those games on aggregate of 15-3. Beating Spurs, beating Arsenal, and beating Chelsea. I think Manchester United had beaten them 3-2. I think it was around 2011, 2012 there. So it was really a very huge day for the club of Arsenal. Quarterfinal, inexperienced a little bit, but we saw to it that they raised up to the occasion. I like the way the referee officiated this game of football. I know very many Arsenal fans are going to say, that was supposed to be a penalty. We are robbed. Who throws himself into the leg of Manuel Neuer? Manuel Neuer had gone ahead to obviously understand that Saka has gone past me, but Saka, instead of really following up onto the ball, he went ahead to obviously throw himself into the leg of Manuel Neuer. That was really uncalled for, and I think it was really very, 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 very bad of the player. So I think Saka would have gone ahead, obviously hit it instant and tested his chances. That is it. So let's go to the player ratings and see how, let's go to the match stats and see how things have gone ahead to happen. And therefore, as I tell you, if there is an Arsenal player who is going to really miss out onto these fixtures or ties. 13 shots by Arsenal, 8 by Bayern Munich, 4 shots on target by Arsenal, 2 shots on target by Bayern Munich, and all those were back of them. Shows you how clinical they've been. 60% ball possession by Arsenal, 40% ball possession by Bayern, 527 passes completed by Arsenal, 366 passes completed by Bayern Munich, 88% passing accuracy by Arsenal, 82% passing accuracy by Bayern Munich, 13 fouls by Arsenal, 12 fouls by Bayern Munich, 1 yellow card to Arsenal, it went to Thomas Partey, 2 yellow cards to Bayern Munich, and it was Harry Kane and Alphonso Davies. And Alphonso Davies is out in the return leg. Then 0 red cards to both sides, though there was a call of a red card where Harry Kane went ahead to elbow. Harry Kane went ahead to elbow Gabriel Magalhaes, and I think this is what makes it the Champions League. And I tell you, this is what makes it the Champions League. I'm really looking at the way Bukayo Saka fell into Manuel Neuer. I think it's not a penalty. So this is what makes it the Champions League, that when you look at those fouls, they are not really given, and the yellow card was issued. If it's in the Premier League, that's a red card. And it shows you the levels of how good the UEFA Champions League referees are at. 3 offsides to Arsenal and 2 offsides to Bayern Munich. 2 corners to Arsenal and 1 corner to Bayern Munich. It shows you how Arsenal was not good in the final third, especially when it came to obviously getting in set pieces, because Arsenal is going to hit to score 19 set pieces in the Premier League, and I think Thomas Tuchel came into this game of football knowing it that they shouldn't offer lots of corners to the side of Arsenal, because they would have gone ahead to obviously score something special from that. So those were the match stats, and I think you're going to hit to enjoy them very well. But Kai Havertz and Declan Rice were really some of those players of Arsenal that were really on yellow cards, and they went ahead to protect themselves, and they are into the next game of football that's going to be played in Munich, next week on Wednesday. So we just await to see how that really pans out. But obviously, Arteta, you give him credit for the substitutions that was going to hit to make. They went ahead to obviously save Arsenal and keep their lifeline leveled, and they're now waiting to see what they can do when they're really playing away at the Allianz Arena, where Bayern is really going to be having fans. Remember, Bayern never really had fans here, but the players raised up to the occasion, and you saw the brilliance of Musiala, Leroy Sane, Harry Kane. Harry Kane, by the way, to me, he's the man of the match. If at all I'm looking for the entire man of the match. Assist for the first goal, scoring the second goal. Nobody better deserves that. He should be the man of the match. He really did all what he had to do to save his side of Bayern Munich. And maybe he might really be the reason as to why Bayern knocks out Arsenal in the Allianz Arena. At this juncture, Arsenal's chances are really equal with those of Bayern Munich, as there is not so much into that away goals rule that people are also going to hit to use to obviously get going. So we wait and see how that pans out down in Allianz Arena. But Arsenal really showed that their mentality test has grown and gone to the next level, because they've gone ahead to lead. They went down by 1 goal, and they found themselves getting back through Gabriel Jesus' beautiful assist, creating a moment of magic, and it really went ahead to obviously pay off. And that is what Jesus gets you. And I know it's really hard for some Arsenal fans to really believe me, but I think if you're playing away in Munich, right? If you're playing away in Munich, you need a Jesus to start as a center forward. That is it, I tell you. Because you saw that energy brings in through. And we never saw Kai Havertz really causing havoc to that central defense of Dyer and Matthias. I told you that they're really one of the weakest links that you could ever come out and really open up. So that's what I had for you. Rokani David is my name. Man City is going to hit to draw 3-3 with Real Madrid, and it looks like for them they have to tussle and settle the score at Etihad. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Bye bye.